This is a Profoto Acute Head. It's one of the earlier uh, types of heads that works with a Profoto pack. I use them with an Acute 2, which is 1200 watt seconds, and a Pro Acute Alpha, which is also 1200 watt seconds. I am going to guess they probably go up to 2400, but I really don't know the specifications. A lot of times when you see these older Profoto heads, they're they'll say something other than acute head. They might be like acute D or some other types of nomenclature. But I got these with an alpha pack, and they're old and they work really well. So hi, my name's Steve. I'm an amateur photographer. I like to use older strobe equipment, especially packs and heads. Recently, I was able to get a hold of some Profoto equipment. I don't necessarily see a lot of information about some of these older strobes or packs, so these videos are just sharing my quick thoughts. And hopefully, if you're interested in trying to pick some of this stuff up, these will help with your thought process. So, like anything that I'm seeing from Profoto, they're really well made, super well engineered. The frosted dome that's over the flash unit actually comes off. There's two little metal clips. You can see them sort of hanging down from the bottom of the lamp. That exposes the flash tube as well as the quartz modeling lamp. The frosted dome is nice in that it protects uh, the flash unit itself from being dinged, if you will, when you're trying to put the modifier on or off. And we'll take a look at the modifiers in a little bit. Those are really nice and easy to adjust. But for now, you may never have to take that bulb off. I am hoping I don't have to. But it is nice. For me, it's a nice feature that that glass dome is there. The other thing that I would point out here is that the handle that is on this is a ratcheting handle. It means that if you ever get in a bind and you need to make some adjustments, you can pull the handle out, move it, and then put it back in, and then continue to do your tightening or loosening. I haven't had that happen. The handle moves freely. One thing that is a little bit unique is that the way that you attach the flash unit to a light stand is actually at the back of the flash unit. Typically, I'm used to seeing these kind of in the middle of the flash unit, but Profoto has decided, I guess, with these older heads to put them at the back. I find them to be quite sturdy, even with some of the larger Profoto modifiers on them. Um, Other things to kind of talk about here, I did kind of mention the reflector and how there's a rubber collar, you attach it. You can zoom it in or you can zoom it out. So at this juncture here, you can see that the bulb actually sticks out. When you put it to this marking here, which is a marking of the number 4, the bulb is actually recessed or inside the reflector. I didn't show it in any of the photographs, but there is a really clever way that you can attach an umbrella. The umbrella actually goes inside of the reflector and it goes through a shaft that is the entire length of the flash unit. And the shaft itself is actually made out of metal. So, and at the end of that tube is like a spring bulb, if you will, that would provide a little bit of tension to hold the shaft in place. So I don't know how heavy of an umbrella you can put on here. My guess is probably a pretty substantial one. And I'm, the reason I'm mentioning an umbrella, some people may think, well, why would you use an umbrella with, Profoto equipment? Well, if you're buying these used, you can find them at a pretty good price. And if you are kind of price conscious, maybe you're not putting a lot of money into your modifiers, at least to start with. So umbrellas, especially if you put diffusion material, over the umbrella is an easy way to make a large light source and make it pretty soft. The only other thing really to talk about here is on the back. And you know, this flash unit that I'm using is kind of beat. It's the cord is all twisted up. It's kind of dusty. But what I want to point out here is there's a little blue dial, and above that is a black knob. And what that knob does is it turns the modeling lamp on or off. So on the pack itself, you actually switch a button to turn on the modeling lamp, but you can turn the modeling lamp intensity down to 0. And what that'll do is it'll leave the fan on inside of these heads. So you're not running the modeling lamp, you're not generating any heat from the modeling lamp, but you can configure it in such a way that the fan will run even when the modeling lamp is not, blaring any light out. And that's kind of what that little knob is. On these older models, they don't really tell you what the knob is, but that's in fact what it does. So I have 4 of these. 2 are the older ones, and then 2 that are a little bit newer. And the newer ones have a much nicer cable. It doesn't twist up like this one did. And they're lightweight. They can hold a fair amount of modifier. In terms of the weight of the modifier, they're really well made, and they're relatively small. So I'm a big fan of trying to use packs and heads because you're putting less on a light stand, or if you're trying to move them out or put it on a C-stand or an arm, it's just, less weight. You don't have the capacitor built in. So I hope that helps, and keep an eye out. People, from time to time get rid of these things, and a lot of folks really aren't that familiar with using packs and heads, so you can kind of, if you're lucky, get them at a good price.